violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
New tonight at 11, the owner of a diner that's been around for almost 50 years in Brooklyn is now picking up the pieces after his restaurant was burglarized early this morning. CBS 2's Thalia Perez reports he's not letting that stop him from serving the community in East New York.
A burnt shell is what's left of the ATM machine
Wow. These dudes burnt the ATM.
located in the entryway of Brooklyn Eats after it caught on fire during a botched burglary.
Where they proceeded to take out a blowtorch and try to open up the ATM, which they did not have. They couldn't do it, but they burned the plastic of the ATM, which caught on fire.
Wow. And guys, there are a lot of thieves in New York. A lot of burrito gremlins, a lot of super gremlins, even some glider gremlins out here thieving. But when you really look at what's going on here, it does not look good for the community, and I'm gonna tell you why. Too often do we see these Pooh Shiesty mask wearing super gremlins on demon time taking what doesn't belong to them, you know, and it sets a bad precedent. It makes people not want to do business with you, with us as a group. Okay, like I said, the few are spoiling it for the many. And I think that that's something that we need to be cognizant as a community, because a lot of times you'll see people get robbed or get a lick hit on them, and you'll just watch. And, you know, you might even make excuses for the criminal if you're that type of person. Now, I know everybody here on, you know, Black Gen Z Mindset, aka BGZM News 17, doesn't make excuses for super gremlins, but there are those in the community who do, and who say, oh, well, they needed the money, so, you know, it's like Robin Hood. They taking from the rich or taking from those who have and, you know, distributing to the poor, except that's not what's happening. There is a high level of selfishness in the community, and I think that it's time that we, as a group, address it and rid the community of that.
Police say it happened at 2592 Atlantic Avenue. Around 2 a.m., surveillance cameras caught two suspects inside the eatery.
Papadopoulos tells us that the two suspects that were inside the restaurant were here for a total of 30 minutes, while 3 were staged out.
And yes, those, in fact, are some super gremlins on demon time
outside as the lookouts, pretending to fix their SUV.
Those people that were involved in that, it really was a bad thing. George is a great man.
Fortunately, the fire was contained to the ATM and didn't spread. Fire officials say they were notified about the incident. Meanwhile, Papadopoulos says the suspects didn't flee empty-handed. They grabbed $500 in cash from a register and cash box that were in the front of the restaurant before they fled.
Wow. So they did all that for $500. They're gonna split between like 3. It's at least 3 people. Not worth it.
Emotionally, it really bothers me because many people call this place home. My family's been here 50 years. I'm going to be there another 150 years. We're not going anywhere.
The restaurant is open 7 days a week and is known for its breakfast and lunch dishes.
And tomorrow, doors will be open and you'll be serving all of these same wonderful plates?
Tomorrow, 7 a.m., we will be open. Maybe a little bit of a delay, but we will be open.
Please get security, brother. I know it's tight. I know it's hard to, you know, make money out there and pay the rent and whatnot, but security is needed.
Next, Papadopoulos says he plans to beef up security, while police say the search for the suspects continues.
Well, there you go.
In East New York, Thalia Perez, CBS 2 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
This morning, a shocking incident in the Bronx. A man is struck by a vehicle and then robbed while he's lying, severely injured in the street. Happened yesterday at around 6:30 a.m.
Wow. So the man was hit at the crack of dawn by a vehicle, laid out and injured. And instead of helping him up, instead of doing the right thing and calling the ambulance, or the ambulance, as they would call it in the community, they do something called running his pockets.
Portona Park East. The 39-year-old man was walking on the sidewalk along East 169th Street when he was hit by a black Ford.
Wow. These people. Worst of the worst, man.
Four-door sedan. Two men then got out of the car, not to help, but to take the victim's possessions before fleeing. The victim suffered body trauma and was taken to Lincoln Hospital in critical condition. Police are looking for help identifying the three people involved.
This picturesque block here in Greenpoint was being used as a set for the Law & Order TV series, and it turned into a real-life crime scene early this morning. The NYPD tells us that a man sitting in a parked car, holding a parking spot so that they could begin filming and doing their production.
Wow. So you have a shooting on the set of Law & Order when they're actually, you know, Law & Order is basically a show about crime, and then a crime occurs on set. There's a lot of irony going on here, but at the same time, it's really sad that you can't even do your job without feeling safe or actually being safe and being able to continue your life.
Production work here today was shot and killed in that parked car. Now, the Citizen app video captures the scene about 5:15 this morning on North Henry Street near Norman Avenue. Police tell us a 31-year-old man was sitting in the parked car when the shooter walked right up to the car and shot him in the head and the chest.
Wow, so this sounds like it was organized. This sounds like something that was probably planned out. You know, I don't know if this guy had beef in the streets, but y'all have to watch who y'all engage with in this day and age. Argue with, whatever. Arguments aren't even worth it anymore, okay? It really isn't.
The victim was working for a company hired by Law & Order producers to secure spots on the street in preparation for filming. The NYPD's crime scene unit has been working the scene for hours, collecting evidence while detectives have been doing door-to-door searches and going door-to-door trying to find neighbors who saw something and will help them figure out what really happened here. Residents tell us not everyone here is happy to have filming on their block, which prevents them from parking their own cars.
Wow. So that might be an angle too. That might be a motive. Super Gremlin upset that Law & Order done took they parking spots and they kill one of the cast members to send a message. You know, some weird things going on in the community, y'all.
Here's what one resident said.
That's a shame. You guys are just doing his job, isn't it? It's too bad. It's scary. Could be some crazy person that is mad about the parking. They get really upset.
Now, police sources close to the investigation are telling me that this shooting may have had absolutely nothing to do with the parking space itself and may have been more like a targeted hit.
So it is what it is.